Royal Baguska! We did it! Whoa! Baguska, the terribly tired tapir, now in a royal finish. It's time! Howdy Crystal Conclave, it's NESHY with the best Crystal Beast deck, made even better with new support in Golden Rule. Now, this specific variation of the deck, Conclave Control, is the best way to play Crystal Beast competitively. Now, why listen to me? Well, I have tournament tops with this specific version of the deck. I created it in Duel Links, TCG, and Master Duel. Now, what is Conclave Control? Well, if you've heard of Crystal Beast, you've probably heard of Conclave Control. Despite its name, Conclave Control is a mid-range deck, meaning it has solid disruption tools to control the game in Crystal Miracle, Crystal Conclave, Necro Valley, and Baguska, until it finds the right opportunity to OTK, with Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates, and now Golden Rule. Conclave Control's general game plan revolves around the Crystal Beast's unique crystallization mechanic to generate resources over time. You see, when the Crystal Beasts are destroyed, they go to the back row as a crystal instead of going to the graveyard. The heart of the deck lies in Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. This is quite literally the best card in the deck. It trades Crystal Beast monsters for powerful spells and traps. The Crystal Beasts, meanwhile, get repurposed as crystals, and when the time is right, through Awakening or Golden Rule, Ruby calls together the Conclave to deliver the final blow. Let's get into the card by card, and then I'll show you a replay with this deck to show you how it works in action. First of all, Max Seed, just the best card in Master Duel, we have the Crystal Beast lineup. 1 Ruby, which soul charges your Crystal Beast, transforms them from crystals back into beasts. And this is your bomb card of the deck. This creates amazing OTKs. Then we have Crystal Beast Cobalt Eagle, the 4th level 4 in the deck. If we could play a 4th Sapphire Pegasus, we would. Otherwise, this basically lets you create Lightning Chidori while you're under Necro Valley, so that you don't have 2 Pegasuses go to grave. You have 3 Pegasus, the premier normal summon of the deck. This is the backbone. Crystallize another Crystal Beast on summon from hand, deck, or graveyard for recursion. Next, for the remainder of our Crystal Beasts, Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, aka Zenith, which is the original OCG name. Zenith is a 3000 attack Crystal Beast, and that is absurd because this is what enables all of our OTKs. It's also the first Crystal Beast to have an effect in the back row, essentially turning Sapphire Pegasus into a 1-card rank 4. Normal summon Pegasus, crystallize Zenith, Zenith effect, banish itself, special summon another level 4 Crystal Beast. Now you have 2 level 4s on field to make any one of your rank 4 toolbox cards. To carry on with our defensive cards, we have 2 Bestial Magnamute, or 1 Magnamute, 1 Druisworm. Magnamute searches for Druisworm, but not only that, you could search for Zenith for OTK options, or Rainbow Dragon to enable our Awakening. Next we have 2 Fenrir, one of the best cards in the deck, purely with Crystal Beast since it puts on pressure immediately once it hits the field, and having disruption in the form of a monster is invaluable since Crystal Beasts kind of take up a lot of back row space. Next we have one of the Garnets of the deck, Rainbow Dragon. You don't like drawing it, but if you do draw it, it's no big deal because you can immediately activate Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates, and now you have triple Zenith to play with. With Zenith, it's mandatory to add Rainbow Dragon to hand, so if you draw it, you unfortunately won't be able to make a rank 4 off of 1 Sapphire Pegasus. But at the same time, you don't have to banish a Zenith anymore in order to activate its effect, so you're playing with triple Zenith action. Next up, 1 Foolish Burial Goods. Please, Konami, bump this up to 3. But this is to dump our Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, one of the best cards in the deck. Salvation banishes itself to add a Crystal Beast and any field spell, searching you your starter and your defensive card in Necro Valley. And since the Crystal Beasts all go to the back row when they're destroyed, they're uniquely positioned to play under Necro Valley pretty effectively. And this happens to be one of the best floodgates in the game. If you're going up against toe-to-toe with the top decks, you're gonna need this card in order to screw them over and bring the ceiling down to your level. You know, think of all the top decks: Tearlament, Dragonlink, Branded, Rudic, all need the graveyard, and they're all shut down thanks to this beautiful card right here. Next, we have our 3 Rainbow Bridge, a non-once per turn searcher. It's 11 words long. What more could you want? Our monster searcher in the form of a spell trap, Crystal Bond. If Foolish Burial Goods goes to 2 or 3, we'd play 2 goods, 2 bond. But since it's at 1, we max out on bond for this deck. This is to lower down the diminishing returns that come from playing Sapphire Pegasus. You want to play 7 Sapphire Pegasus in the form of 3 Pegasus, 1 goods, 3 bond. That makes sense. But this lets you add Sapphire Pegasus and then crystallize Zenith from the deck. And this can enable Heart in order to bounce an opponent's card like a Mirror Jade without committing a monster. If you activate Heart, then activate Bond, you immediately bounce a card once Bond resolves. And this is great in being able to basically act as an extender for Zenith, essentially acting as a starter and an extender. The 1 talent as the 40th card, essentially. This is awesome. The 1 prosperity for consistency, always banishing 6. Your typical prosperity targets are the zoo package going first. You can cut a lot of these links because they don't matter. Dugaras, since you're not going to be drawing cards for the rest of the turn, thanks to Prosperity's Lock, you can banish the Dugaras because this is just to pitch the Salvation. And your Super Poly targets if you really want to. Next up, Golden Rule. This is a bomb card of the deck. You only play 1 because it's searchable because it's always treated as a crystal card. But this card crystallizes 2 from the deck and then special summons a Crystal Beast, typically a Ruby from your hand or your graveyard. Ruby subsequently summons all the Crystal Beasts from the back row, which includes the 2 that you crystallized off of Golden Rule. So you can see how the damage racks up with Zenith. If you crystallize 2 Zenith, summon Ruby off of the Golden Rule, summon the 2 Zeniths, now all you need is a Sapphire Pegasus, and that's 8100 damage right there. Necro Valley, I already talked a little bit about this card. The only deck that this doesn't screw over, that screws us over more, is Fluon Deriz. So if you're playing against Flu specifically, don't have Necro Valley up. It hurts us more than it hurts them. Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. It is difficult to win without this card. That is how important this card is. It's a double summon. It gives you a search by popping a Crystal Beast, generate resources. And it can bounce an opponent's card once a Crystal Beast card is placed in the spell and trap zone, once it's crystallized. 3 effects in 1. This is an entire adventure engine in 1 card, so I heard. 2 Super Polymerization. Since our extra deck is a toolbox, we can afford to play 2 targets in Mud Dragon and Garua. And it's a GX themed card. We love to see it. 2 Awakening. You're going to use the first one to search for Bridge of the Heart or Salvation, whichever one you don't have. This can dump Salvation or search for Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. And the second one is used for OTK/extension/push plays. So that's why you want to play 2. You were playing 3 before, but now that we have Golden Rule, we can replace the 3rd with Golden Rule, which is nice. Salvation, another brick of the deck, but it's so nice being able to search for any field spell that you want. And once we have Pressured Planet Raitsoth, which can search Fenrir, we can replace the 2nd Necro Valley with that Raitsoth. 2 Miracle and 2 Conclave as our traps. Miracle is a non-once per turn Omni Negate, which is amazing, and it has a relevant graveyard effect, a secondary utility for Foolish Burial Goods. Crystal Conclave, it was the namesake of the deck, now it's Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, but this is still invaluable to remove cards during your opponent's turn. A compulse that gives you a resource back. And it turns all of your Crystal Beasts into floaters. When one gets destroyed, another one replaces it from the deck. Not only that, but you can summon Ruby to special summon the Crystal Beast that was just destroyed, or summon Zenith, the biggest body of the bunch. For our extra deck are 2 Super Poly targets. These 2 cover just about anything. 1 Dweller to stop Tearlament. 1 Lightning Chidori, our premier spell removal card, thanks to Sapphire Pegasus being a wind. Our Zoo package, you make Chakanine overlay into Borbo to attack directly for 0 and overlay into a 4 material Zeus. You also have Dryden to overlay onto the Chak or the Borbo to pop a card in the process. We have Tornado Dragon to clear floodgates. Maguska, our honorary Crystal Beast, Plan B baby. Our Dugaras to draw 2 and pitch 1. This is to combo with Salvation. If we do end up drawing Salvation, we can then draw 2, pitch it, and go +4 in the process. Who doesn't love a little +4? We have AA Zeus, Nightmare Phoenix, also to discard Salvation, same with Barricade Board Blocker. These are our options if we are under Prosperity and we want to pitch Salvation, or you could just set Salvation and pop with Tornado Dragon. Lots of ways to discard it. Unicorn, which you never really go into, and Underworld Goddess, because you never know, you might have to out a Towers monster. Let's go ahead and get into the replays with this deck. Go! Golden Rule! This replay I'm about to show is a Master Rank replay, so you know it's going to be a good one. I think this perfectly showcases how great the new support is, specifically for Conclave Control. You know, Golden Rule, even though it's a one-of, it's still very relevant for the deck, and you're going to see why. So, kicking it off, we won the die roll, which is great. This deck loves to go first, but it doesn't mind going second, thanks to Pegasus being a one-card Zeus. Kick things off, special summoning Fenrir, search for another Fenrir, and we're going to normal summon Sapphire Pegasus, spending hours a day normal summoning Sapphire Pegasus. We drew the Rainbow Dragon, unfortunately, so Sapphire Pegasus isn't going to do much for us since we drew the Garnet, but we're just going to pop it, search for Conclave, flip it up in the draw phase so that we can use its effect, and they're going to imperm our Fenrir. So this board doesn't do much, right? This board isn't impressive at all. And that's the thing. Crystal Beasts, their monsters suck, but their spell and traps are amazing. They're going to go for an Ecclesia into a Moye, reveal Emergence, so you know they got a lot of stuff. We're going to save this Conclave for something pretty valuable. We're going to let them go into YuGiOh here, no big deal. It would be nice to have this Fenrir on, honestly, to negate the... banish the Moye, but you live and you learn. Now, this board doesn't do much, like I was saying, but it does accomplish some amazing things on turn 3. Next, they're going to Long Wand, summon a token, and this is where we want a Conclave. Cut them off of their level 10 axis, because that's what we're really scared of. A Barone or an Evil Long Wand really goes a long way. They're going to summon Protos. They add the Protos. They're going to call Earth to pop the Fenrir. They're not going to kill us, which is great because, you know, that's why we turn them off of the 10s. We're going to draw a Bond for turn, and it's all over now. I could activate Bond to bounce the YuGiOh right now, but we actually want them to use that to negate the Pegasus to turn on our Triple Tactics talent. Now, it's going to negate the Pegasus. Emergence is going to change its level. Now we're going to Bond, add Pegasus to hand, crystallize a Ruby, and then we're going to use Heart, bounce the YuGiOh, activate Heart again, pop the Ruby, search Golden Rule, and now it's time. Golden Rule, crystallize 2 Zenith, special summon Ruby, Ruby, summon 1, 2, 3 Zeniths, tribute summon Fenrir, talents, take the Protos, snatch, battle phase, Fenrir, attack over the Ashuna, 24, 3k, Rainbow Refraction! Protos can stop us from summoning Earths, special summoning, but it can't stop us from tribute summoning. And now you see the power of Golden Rule and Conclave Control. Let's go! Conclave Control can get tricky to manage, but with enough practice, anyone can make their Crystal Beasts become Crystal Based. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.